make them holler until it feels big. Give me your sneakers, your money, clothes, rings, and your fucking chains. I never could have shit. Whoever think I have this, I wasn't sure I had a window to throw out my product piss. Now, this verse is the show. Whose life was worse? That's why I'm a bad boy, ghetto bastard, and always have to curse. Back in the days when I was a teenager. Back in the days when I was a teenager. For Christmas, I was for a tick. My daddy never played kicks. My mommy was addicted to
Games podcast. This is episode 8. This one's gonna be very controversial. Something that Louis likes, boy.
Very, very, very.
Very, very controversial. This is gonna be about that, man like Wiley and these little statements about Jews. The Godfather of crime.
Please, no.
So here we go again. This is Chris. We have Louis in the building, and we have Aaron again. The great Gamez.
For dot. This could be the final will and testament of the boys.
This could be the final show, innit?
The grand finale for the grand gimlet.
Before we disappear, boy. Disappear forever.
You could just see a notice in your letterbox, boy. Saying you need to get yourself out of the apartment.
You need to pack it up like Nintendo.
What are you saying? 10 days to get your affairs in order, boy.
Pretty much.
You're about to go off the grid.
Man, like, I would even hear from Aaron again, boy.
Please, no. I don't want to go out like this, boys. Please, let's just keep it.
My wedding would just be cut off out of the blue.
Louis, please keep it civil. Please keep it civil, Louis.
We have to. So it could be a deadly day.
Good. I don't want to smoke.
What are you not saying about this whole situation?
You know what? Before we even get there, can we talk about that video that got posted in the other group chat?
What video was this?
The white guy being racist on the train, and they sucker punched him.
God. And he got
Yeah, they shouldn't have sucker punched him though, to be fair.
Oh my god, the connection.
It looked like, honestly, it looked like he might have had some mental problems, but
yeah, I thought he had Tourette's,
this is neither here nor there, but yeah. And then they just boxed him in the back of his head or whatever.
He took back the guy on the train.
Yeah.
He never even got boxed in the back of his head,
He literally he got the right on the jaw.
Yeah.
Right in the jaw.
I mean, he looked like he didn't see it coming. It was just
He had the slack jaw, and he just got.
He was approaching him like he was up for a scrap, boy.
Is it? Is there like a proper? I've only seen.
Like literally as they were getting off the train, video. Literally as the doors opened.
Yeah, exactly. That's when they boxed him.
Yeah, they stepped on the train and he swung it.
He was squaring up to them. He was like, "Come on, then."
Oh dear. Well, then you reap what you sow, boy. Sometimes you're asking for beef and you get bopped.
But this is what I was saying about people. Like,
even the white people on the train was like, "You deserve that."
Bro,
yeah, exactly,
this is what I mean. This is what's wrong with people, bro. Like, obviously, my man, he's a bit of a loony. You know what I mean? Every standard procedure. Like these man, you don't get nothing from boxing them up. Like, they can't even defend themselves anyway. So they literally just banking on like not getting swung on to talk shit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like it's not even in their mind that they can get swung on. Like, how can you be in front of like 3 black strangers? I can't even say it like that, but you know what I mean. That was reason. But you can't be around some hood dons you just provoke and not expect to get swung on. Like, they'll try it.
Yeah, it's not even like they're olders. They're young kids, bro. What do you expect young kids to be on? Yeah,
bruv, the young kids are wild, fam. Like, you can't be doing too much. And obviously they need to realize, bruv, like that guy could have bounced his head off a couple windows on the way down as well. Like he could have really gone out a different way.
From what I saw, he was waking up.
You don't care about that though.
No, they don't. But because he wasn't expecting the punch in it, so he wasn't ready for the punch. His jaw was like hanging because he was talking. So obviously the guy's done a whole. He rotated his whole hip and just swung it like.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no.
Like NBA. What's the sport name? Some baseball swing, boy. You just let him have it
through the pitch.
I have no sympathy for my man. That's what you get for being racist, boy.
I got sympathy. Like,
why?
Because you can't be like be happy. We can't be happy, man, are getting stumped out for stupid ideas. You know what I mean? Because ignorance. Like now he's gonna hate black people for sure. He's got a reason to hate them for sure now.
He
Like,
didn't have one.
What do you mean?
He didn't have one before.
Exactly.
He did it, but
If he was being racist before and then he got bopped for it, then that's his business, to be honest. But I don't know the full thing, so it looked to me like he was just ranting like a crazy person.
For me, yeah, it looked like a bait situation because even the white people on the train were like, "That's what you get for being racist."
yeah, but people. This is the thing. Like the crowds want to see blood now. That's what makes it scary. The crowds love blood now.
Everyone's wanting to see blood for donkeys, though.
Remember I was saying like the world has changed.
Though, Louis, yeah, you don't really tend to hear white people say you deserve that, you know.
Yeah, you don't. But that's what I'm saying. The world's changed now. Like it's, bro. Remember when I was saying anyone could get it? Remember when the grandma got beat up on the train by the black guy? Like
you loved it. You was loving it.
Bro, the guy was doing self combos in real life.
Terrible.
You know what,
terrible.
This guy's kind of lucky that wasn't America because they might have done worse than that, you know.
Bro, they'll be jumping on his head like.
To be fair, it looked like they were gonna do a bit more to him when he was on the floor, but someone told him to stop because they were like kicking him and shit when he was on the floor. But they told him to stop.
That guy got the KO punch, mate.
If that was USA, they'll be doing Alex air normals on him, like.
Got the final turnaround punch for you. That was actually the final turnaround punch.
That was the final turn.
Well, Alex died, everything, bro.
But yeah, like that's his business, though, isn't it? For saying those things, you're saying those things. You can't expect people to not get annoyed, and when people get annoyed, they handle things in certain ways. And unfortunately for him, they bopped him.
Like you are right. You are right. Like you're not wrong there. But I think like it's deadly still. It's deadly. Like the way these people are moving.
But people have been moving like that for time. When have you known in your lifetime people settling things by talking?
Yeah, you're right. It's never really gone down like that still. But you know what? Before everyone was cool with pretending like you could talk things out. I think now everyone understands that everyone's seen too much now. They just let him have it and see what happens.
Well, people have been unleashing the beast since since we were babies, before we were born. Even people don't talk. People don't talk. They fight. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's people in this world love a fight, boy. They rather a physical than some peaceful talks, boy.
The peace treaty is just less dangerous for everyone involved. But people don't want that, man. People want to see people slumped on the train, their heads at a 90-degree angle, boy, from the
that happens.
You know when people get bopped on fight night and then they
You're right. I had the same situation with Nitty. He tried to break into my mom's car, and he got rushed properly. Still, he got rushed.
Man, like little man.
You didn't tell him why it was wrong to be breaking into people's cars.
I actually didn't. I'm a hypocrite.
You just got feet for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you reap what you sow, and you can't be having sympathy for.
Well, you know what? Like I think it's okay. Like I don't know. You're right. It's always been like that, but I think in everyone's mind it was kind of like it's not meant to be like this. Now it's like fuck it, let them have it. I think
what do you mean? No, but if people are more willing to fight than they are to talk, then that means it's always.
Well, I'll say like not the people in the situation. I guess more for the bystanders is what
the
I'm
spectators. Oh, you mean spectators are more willing to see a bopping as well? Is what you're saying.
I think Worldstar might have just made it like desensitized now, so people
because people get their phones out instead of trying to stop the thing in it.
Yeah.
People
are happy to record. Yeah, that was it. Because that was what I was crying about when the grandma was getting bust up. Like people are happy to record rather than help.
Do you know what though? I don't think everything should be recorded.
Bruv, people are doing
that's just how
Attenborough in the war. Like
that's how the thing is now. People just record.
And the thing is, some people record just to get clout.
Bruv, when people were just like, I'm sure there's footage of Tory shooting, Megan and the legs coming soon. That's when I was like, you know what, the world is finished. Like that is just an off day. Like, what are the chances of having footage of a shooting going down like out of the blue in the middle of
real TMZ, boy.
Yeah,
yeah.
actually TMZ boys. But yeah, it's like people don't even record it to help the thing get settled or solved. They just record it to put it on social media and get the clout, man. Get the clout, like Chris said. Clout farming, but any means.
Literally the farming the internet W's, the imaginary points. They're farming
the imaginary points, man. The useless points. So you have to farm these days, boys.
I can't be a clout chaser, man. It's washed.
You have to farm some clout.
What does clout do for you?
Get you likes on Twitter. Get some likes, some retweets. Valuable resources and commodities.
Imagine, thinking that your life revolves around retweets and likes. Please.
That's how people are doing it. Cause yeah,
bro, that's the perversion of society. Like you can't get nothing else. You know, like your money coming in from the job is less than the rent going out, and just the clout is the only thing that holds it down.
You need some kind of what's that thing where you eat chocolate?
Clout is the GSA, boy.
Some clout, man. Some clout by Eddie Beans.
Universal credit clout.
It's the currency, the fake currency, the imaginary currency, man.
Well, it's true. Because it's always like the man who are like, they don't have friends in real life, but on the forums they're moderating, they're just beasting. Oh my lord,
the life of the party, boy. But
that one triggers me, boy. The janitors or the mods who are out of control on power trips can't let GG slide, just coming in and handing out infractions.
That's how a lot of people are becoming, though. They're becoming more like that janitor who is the farmer of tweets, of liked tweets. Everyone's becoming like that, man, because the clout is too tasty, it's too delicious. You need it. Inject it.
I think it can't last either because it's not sustainable. Like when it was a couple of men showing off, it was okay, but when like you're thinking like, how do I farm the clout, and I'm thinking, how do I refarm it back, and we're farming content basically, like for the net.
Yeah, that's why you see things just like getting outrageous. People just start doing more and more outrageous things. It's starting to look like what's that show, Jackass? People just doing.
Jackass was like the Genesis.
Yeah,
like Bam Margera. I remember the episode when they lit fireworks on the dad whilst he was on the toilet. Oh my days, I'll never forget.
You know what? One of the worst things I've ever seen someone do for clout. Someone sent it to me, on Insta. This guy he posted himself saying that he got shot, and he's got the phone out saying, I got shot.
Oh, I remember this one. Oh my god,
sounding like that oxide neutrino song. I've been shot. When is if you're gonna start getting shot?
When we're gonna start getting shot.
Well, so he didn't get shot.
Oh, no.
So the person who was begging for clout, he didn't get shot in the end, or what?
I don't even know. I locked it off, bro. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Well, so he's saying he freshly got shot, and then instead of getting help, so instead of getting help for himself, he's posting it on social media.
Social media first. This is the problem with the internet. The internet is killing my people.
I logged straight to Twitter. Yo, help me. I'm finished.
Do you know what? Yeah, I've clocked that like all these social media platforms are just finishing people's brain cells. Man, are looking like some zombies, boy.
Bro, it's so dark, it's true, bro. Like, oh my god. Like when I go online, I know there's nothing knowledgeable going on, bro. Like I know it's fuckeries.
Yeah. It's like distractions from what you should really be caring about most of the time. That's not to say that social media doesn't have its.
Yeah, it does have this.
Bro,
benefits.
so social media is the new jail cell, bro. That's what I wanted to bring up, and then we can jump onto the Wiley thing, bro. You know what made the whole Wiley thing mad for me? Like,
No, we just get straight to it. We was gonna make a point, and then you just man just skip
Man,
straight
go
to the one
straight
thing.
into it.
you know me, I'm always back and forth. But you know what made it mad for me? Like, whenever someone says wild shit, it's like you know the way I saw it. Like, you know when like someone's been cheated on, what do they usually say? Like, you know when they're recovering from the breakup and they just been finessed, basically. They usually say like, I'm done with girls, right? Or I'm done with guys. Like they always generalize, don't they?
Yeah, true.
Like, it's not the right thing to do, obviously, but it's like people act like they've never seen it happen before. Well, not, obviously, because what Wiley said was rude, innit? They weren't looking at it like that, but that's literally how they should have really been seeing it. Like,
Wait. What? We have to break this down. What did he actually say? That was so
you know, this is part of the problem, innit? The clout farmers, innit? They started photoshopping tweets. Like they said, whenever anything happens with Jewish people, Holocaust denial is like maximum points for farming. Like if you call if someone's a Holocaust denier, that is like top of the totem pole of scumbag, because you're literally saying like nothing happened to 6 million people. I don't know why that is.
Why would you even come to that conclusion in the first place? That's just retarded.
Because I believe people who studied history, not all the people, but you know what I mean. The conspiracy was Hitler wasn't that organized to get all that many people gone. Like 6 million people is a lot of people. So the idea that they came up with is basically it's either exaggerated or none of it happened at all, which is obviously messy when someone's saying like you've been pillaging and destroying my people.
Yeah, that's like saying
slavery. That's like the
racist,
the racist favorite take. Yeah. Like the super Nazi racist. Like, no.
It's like saying.
Actually, I wouldn't even say it was Nazis, because Nazis definitely did it if it was them. The general racist against Jews would say it didn't happen. It would be like a group of KKK members saying like lynchings never happened.
Basically. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's like when Kanye West said slavery was a choice.
that guy. How come I come out and say that?
You're finished. Please tell me you saw the recording where it was the black girls who did it. The black girls were recording at the front row, innit? So they were hearing everything. But because it was front row, it was obviously quiet whilst he was talking. You could hear them give a commentary whilst he was talking. They're like, "Oh my god, what's he saying? Oh hell no!" They're like, "Girl, we got to go." But they're in the front seat, so they can't really go anywhere. They're like, "Oh no, he didn't say that. Oh my god, I got to go right now."
Yeah, but that's like similar to what he's.
Yeah.
Holocaust deniers is like a similar thing. It's called comparable.
I think Holocaust denial is nonsense, but I think they do it to bait Jewish people, because they get triggered when it happens. Like, I've never seen it not work.
But it's like so many of their people were really killed for whatever reasons.
I think it's equivalent to like when white people say like the police don't harass or don't pick on
people of color.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And you're like, are you serious? Do you get harassed the same way?
Yeah,
but obviously for that one, one, there's like white privilege as like a little excuse to hang over it. So you know what I mean. You can kind of get away with making that point because they've done a good job of making that point for a while. But yeah, I don't see where it happens with Holocaust now. So yeah, so basically, someone like if you've seen Wiley tweet, he's got obviously very poor grammar. So basically, whilst it was all popping up and everyone's sharing the screenshots of the tweets, being outraged, that was the other weird thing I found. Like obviously on Twitter as well, everyone loves to get involved. Like they have the same energy in real life.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like you post your opinions on there, and it's like out in
That's
the
what
open,
it's.
public domain, baby, and then everyone.
What do they call it? Virtue
thinks it's cool.
signaling. It's like me saying I hate pedos, but like if a 600-pound pedo was in front of me, like what am I really doing to him? Like if he was the size of Big Show, and he could literally like slap my chest and like my breathing would shut down. Like, do I have the same energy for Big Show if he's a pervert or whatever?
It depends what you're saying, though, innit? If you're just saying, I don't know, if you're just condemning them for being the way they are, then you should.
But obviously, like in real life, when you're condemning someone, you need to actually put in some work as well to condemn them properly.
You don't need to touch anyone, Louis. What is this? You don't need to put your hands on anyone. You don't need to put your hands on anyone.
In the 2020, oh not Alan, not 2020, but in the BC era, yeah, you got to put them hands to work.
Hey, look, hey, don't get counsel, Louis. Please, that when you say in the BT era and then you say you got to put them hands to work, it just doesn't. It's not clean. It's not clean.
It don't sound clean at all, Ray.
It's not clean at all.
That sounds
Yeah,
dirty.
that was hard. In fact, I said it wrong. It was post BC. Like you can't like you know it's like you can't be in the jail cell of a nonce and not like finish it basically. Like you can't be like, oh, I condemn you touching children. Like you can't do that.
Yeah, well, it depends how you're.
You get what Louis saying, bro.
Yeah, I do.
Some people,
Like people are looking at you funny. Like, wow, you didn't knock his head off. Like, oh, you support him, innit?
It depends about your disposition, though. If you're generally not a person that likes to brutalize people, then
right. Like I agree. Like people shouldn't really be getting brutalized, but
pedo should be
people. But you know what? But it's like there's bare crimes people do. But do I see it as like all crimes are crimes, innit? Like you can't be like, oh yeah, like I rob like pregnant women, but you actually touch kids. So like,
nah, there's different levels to the crime, though. Not every crime is punishable.
I think there is, but I think at a certain point, like if you're on fuckeries, like you can't be point at man and being like, rah, how can you do that?
No, bro, it depends what you're doing, though, innit? Attacking little kids.
Like for some reason, white collar crime is even more destructive to the environment than like someone who keeps booting off G4S stores, innit? Like, but they're treated the white collar crime is seen as less or even respectable in some ways. Like someone might do massive fraud.
Person that's doing that G4S thing is taking bare money, though, innit? They're robbing.
Bro, like I saw one article. What happened? What happened in that article? There was one police office, I guess, let's say, and they had 24 computers in there, and they were doing false PPP applications for loans from the police station. So it was just going through, and they were finessing money that was meant to be going to businesses and individuals who were meant to be applying for the Mayday loans, basically. And shit was going left. like that is fuckery. Like it's not touching kids, obviously, but it's very fucked. Like however you spin it.
That is fucked.
Or the government printing money, which our kids are gonna have to pay for, which have no chance to enjoy. Like, or the government is saving like Americans with student debt they can't default on even if they go bankrupt. Like, student loans are the only debt in America that you can't get rid of. Like, even if you declare you're bankrupt, you have no money, like you'll get put to work in the fields to help the student. Like, there's real slavery in the USA, fam. So, like,
people in prison are basically slaves, to be fair.
Yeah. Like that's how they get like a lot of stuff paid for. Like, there's so much fuckeries. Like, the whole private prison, like they make more money keeping people in prison rather than reforming them. So
they get the treest of labor.
Yeah. So when there's nonsense flying in, they love it because like they're able-bodied men who are able to work. Like, they love that shit.
But that's why people get put in prison.
Like, they don't want to see nonsense getting their heads knocked off. They don't mind you busting them up, but like as long as they can work the next day, like it's great.
Yeah. That's why mad sentences.
What else as well? There was another thing. I was watching one YouTube channel. I think it was either true crime, but they were talking about like mental health in prison is a madness. Like you've got govs who just sit back and watch guys slice themselves up whilst they're on isolation. Like there was one guy who cut his stomach open like 24 times. His
Yeah,
stomach was looking like a
but-
McRib.
but people, they're hoping that people do that, so they can get rid of people, right? Unfortunately.
The feeble. Get rid of the feeble and bring in the able-bodied, so they can
Yeah.
Body,
more free labor. More
But yeah,
free labor.
That's it's a mess, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on a bit of a tangent, but going back to Wiley, you know what? Whenever I see someone ranting, I always ask myself why are they doing it? And clearly in Wiley's case, when I was using the example of an angry ex, someone who's angry at their girlfriend cheating and saying I hate all men or I hate all women or they're all like that, you know what I mean? Or just generalizing. Whenever anyone's generalizing, 99% of the time, at least I've noticed, usually they got a grievance with something that's happened. Like what, you know, when someone's like, I don't date black people or something. Usually they've had like one bad experience with a black person, and they don't necessarily feel that way. Or someone will be like, I don't date black girls, but if you show him a nice black girl, he'll be like, yeah, I'll have a go. You know what I mean?
It's not just, sometimes it's things what people hear or what people have been.
Yeah, like I feel like
Stories
people use
Yeah,
generalizing to fit what they want when it feels like it. Like you're allowed to generalize when it suits certain people. Like if there was a rule, no generalizing, like obviously bare conversation would never even get finished. Like, you know, like we can't talk about boys or, you know, you can't use the word footballers even to be like, oh yeah, they love partying. You can't even say that. That would be generalizing, right? But you can say for the most part it's true. Like footballers love partying, you know, and they love doing fuckery sometimes.
Yeah. So what did we haven't even got to what he actually said. What did
Yeah.
does anyone even remember what he said?
So we'd have to get the tweets up, but basically he started off the generic rant of he wasn't happy with his manager. I believe his name is John Wolf. From what I understood, basically Wiley had basically found out he'd been finessed out of £5 million, and the label has finessed all of the money. And yeah, they basically told him, yeah, it's basically in the contracts, like fuck off, basically. He's obviously been like, what, fuck off? Okay. And he started making a song and dance about it. And he started basically detailing his experience dealing with the music business of Jews, I'm guessing, and mixing it with just general, what they call anti-Semitic vibes in it, or comments.
Are we allowed to say what was anti-Semitic? What did he? If we're not, then forget it. But yeah, that's what did
no,
he?
So I guess they would ask what is anti-Semitic. That would be basically right now. Anti-Semitism is a weird one because it seems to be right now it's like a blanket term for disliking Jews, basically, or comments towards Jews that are inflammatory. So I never understood why it was such a big deal. But obviously when I was listening to conversation, because obviously remember Nick Cannon's situation happened, I think a bit before Wiley.
Here's what he said was it sounded much peaker than what Wiley said. To be fair, from what I remember from what Wiley said, Nick Cannon's ones were
Nick Cannon got a bit technical. He was trying to use the bars people use about black people against white people, and then he obviously was segueing into attacking Jews. But
I didn't see that bit.
The combo dropped in it. He dropped the combo still.
Fumbled it. Fumbled the combo.
Yeah, like the idea makes sense because you know when they're like you know they refer to black people as Neanderthals and all these things and savages and all of that. So he was like basically trying to run those bars back on them, and it didn't bang in it. And because he generalized, that was what Nick Cannon did. He generalized, and they took him off the map for that. So yeah, from what I understood from Nick Cannon's situation, basically anti-Semitism. The reason why Jews get proper up in arms about it is because obviously the Holocaust happened, and obviously the elders and that from the Holocaust, they were like, fam, whatever just happened, we need to make sure it never happens again. Like, so anything that sounds even funny or sounds like it could bubble up one day and turn into a Holocaust Part 2, they are.
Louis,
They
There's a
are
whole God.
that's literally what they how they feel in it. Excuse my language in it, but they're saying anything that seems like it could be part two or a run back or any type of like resurgence, they need to shut it down with two hands and jump on it. So, because I never understood, because it seemed anytime you said anything weird, they would get onto you like straight away.
Nip it in the bud. Nip it in.
Exactly.
So,
like,
but
yeah,
this
their
is.
thing was
Hmm?
anything that sounds funny, nip it in the bud immediately. Like, don't even wait for someone. Don't even wait for Hitler to come back. Basically.
Oh my god, I don't know if that's true, Louis, to be honest, because
No, that's literally why that was like the explanation for why they're so like sensitive to anything and everything that's said, basically. So it's like
so
they're on red alert at every minute of the day, forever, because of it. Which makes sense because like for us black people, we're not really worried about slavery coming back, even though it's not really fully gone.
why not?
Like we're not getting we know in our own little way we're not going back into picking cotton in the
So
fields.
how comes if what you're saying is correct, how comes Jewish people don't know that they're not gonna get brutalized again like how they did?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't know. So anything that
They do know. If we know that we're not gonna get put in slavery, even though we get
yeah, but I was
even
saying
though we're like bottle of
us black people, I guess we're more comfortable or risky, or we're willing to take the risk that it's not going to happen again.
huh? What are you talking about?
Like we believe it's not going to happen again.
Yeah. So
We believe that.
why can't Jewish people even though they have what how can I say this without us getting pitched?
So do you mean why don't they have the confidence to believe it won't
Yeah,
happen?
because they let's be honest, they have more in these stakes, they have in these kind of situations, they have more protection than
Yeah,
a black
but
person would have really.
I think it's the other way around. I think they have the protection because they're so on job with shutting down anything that sounds like it. If that makes sense.
I agree with that. I agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, like from like a lot of weird things like so right now like with like a lot of the Labour Party and like like the UK politics, like they're always screaming anti-Semitism every 2 minutes.
Mhm.
So like there's two versions. There's like anti-Semitism where it's like just hating on Jews or Semitic people, which is basically Jewish people, and then there's being anti-Palestine or anti-Israel. I forgot which one. I think it's anti-Israel. Sorry, yeah, because I think Israel is the one. The Israeli Jews or whatever have taken over Palestine basically. So I think there was like maps posted, which I think Wiley posted one as well, where it was showing that like the invasion of Palestine by Jews has basically taken their country from it being like a big chunk like UK and then them ending up with like south of England or a tiny chunk in the middle basically, and they've been forced to share their country basically. So basically anything criticizing that can be seen as anti-Semitic also. So also as well, like criticizing the Israeli government is seen as anti-Semitic. Basically, it's a catch-all for anything anti-Jewish. Anything that is not promoting Jewish people is anti-Semitic. Basically, that's like the nutshell version of it. So we don't really have that as black people in it, which is a bit mad. But yeah, that's why anything that gets brought up or anything that looks funny can get shut down instantly. Whereas, I think did you see the podcast I posted up where I think his name was Sarah Garvey. He had a talk with Tommy Robinson,
Oh yeah.
and he was trying to always make the point: us as black people, we can never be sure, or we can never believe when we ask you if you're racist and you say no, because there's no we have to wait for you to do something racist, or we have to just assume or believe you when you say you're not racist. But you can always hide behind your intention and say, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant this." Whereas for Jews, they don't have that. They have a catch-all. Anything that looks funny, smells funny, boom, anti-Semitic. Lock it off. Stop it now. Does
But the
that
thing
kind
is,
of make sense?
we don't really have the power to lock off things like that as well, though, to be fair.
No, we don't. We don't.
What, the
But
black community?
but yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that when I understood that bit, that's when I understood. Oh, okay, that's why for them it's very different. And obviously, the older generation, they had some of the survivors. So I watched a few like random shows and podcasts, and a lot of like the people who survived the Holocaust, they go hard for like Jewish people in general. So like there's I think the guy who spoke with Nick Cannon, he's got like a museum for the after the Holocaust. They go around the world. They will collect like ornaments. Like they basically have a complete museum, and I think he had 2 doors in the museum, one for Jews, one for non-Jews, or something like that. No, I think it was one like only walk through this door if you have no biases, basically if you're not racist. And then the other door is like you can only walk through this door if you're not racist. And if you try and walk through the not racist door, it's locked.
So you're racist. You're definitely
Exactly.
racist.
So you have to walk through the racist door, or basically the one where it says you've got some preconceived stereotypes or something like that.
Which
Um,
everyone has, sadly.
Yeah, and I think was it Gandhi? No, I lied. It wasn't Gandhi. It was who's that like Buddha guy, the main one right now? What's the name? The Dalai Lama. Yeah, he came.
Man, like,
He went. Yeah, he passed through, and when they gave him the option of the 2 doors, he picked the racist door.
of
So
course.
like he was like meant to be like levels ahead where he didn't even get confused. He knew he had some preconceived notions, but he came to learn. So he went through the rabbit door, and yeah, that was like a big deal for some reason. But yeah, so yeah, in a nutshell, saying the older Jewish community go hard. Like I think I saw there was like like there were some people who were kept captive in the camps and whatnot. Um, like when German soldiers were dying, those people would get summoned, and the German soldiers and whatnot would be asking for forgiveness whilst they're dying to these people. So like those people became like super martyrs, if that makes sense, because they were like, how did you have the heart to forgive these toxic people and for what they did to you on their deathbed? You could literally tell them to go fuck themselves and what just before they died, and you chose to forgive them and let them like pass on peacefully, like that whole thing. That was like a big deal as well. So like basically they've got like a whole generation that came or survived that time that kind of gave the teachings to the younger generation, where it's like basically if you man aren't vigilant and on top of this, you man are going to get X'd off again, basically. So anything that basically looks like wrong or sounds wrong, like they're very quickly to hey, stop it, no, anti-Semitic, basically, if that makes sense. Whereas us
So-
black people, we
so-
don't really have
So Louis, do you think he was wrong then? What Wiley did?
like so the thing with Wiley was he was complaining about one guy, John Wall, but he started generalizing, which is I think the mistake people make. Like it's like you being angry at your girl, Chris, and you're like, oh fuck girls, and then you're going on a rant about girls, but really you're just mad at your girl.
Yeah, I get that.
So he took his personal beef and mixed it up with
Right, all
exactly.
Jews.
And I think that's the no-go in everything. So like Nick Cannon did the same thing. Racist white people do the same thing. They're like fucking black people or something like that. You know what I mean? And then
My
really
my problem with the situation is, yeah, I don't condone what Wiley done, yeah. But if that was the other way around, do you think you're even hearing anything about it?
no, you wouldn't. Like that's just the facts of it.
And to be honest, the speed in which he got cancelled is
Was
Yeah,
rapid.
the fastest I've ever seen anyone get cancelled.
You
And
know-
it's
you know
it's
it
not
was-
even like a soft cancel. It's like this guy has literally he's been finished. He got tucked
Yeah.
in.
But there's a couple of dynamics that play in it. Like obviously, we're in a new era of cancellation, isn't it? Like people want swift and speedy justice. Like this is what happened. Remember Alex Jones? He used to just go on and say rabid stuff. Like he was the one who said the Sandy Hook shooting you know that the school kids who got shot up. He said it didn't happen, and yeah, he was online saying it didn't happen. He had bad info at the time. He said it didn't happen, and the parents were basically playing as actors. So all his viewers and whatnot they basically doxed the parents of the dead children, and basically said they were lying and were harassing the parents basically. So these parents, whilst like grieving their kids, were getting called liars and whatnot by like internet trolls basically. And that's what brought the spotlight on Alex Jones, in it. And obviously he was talking rabid stuff, aliens, government, reptiles, all of that stuff. And yeah, bro, they shut him down basically. I forgot what exactly he did, but the complaints got too much, and yeah, they got him off. But the way they got him off was they deleted everything to do with Alex Jones off all his social media platforms. So they basically kicked him out to the underworld, and that set the precedence for what's been happening now. So when people complain about Katie Hopkins and all these other people being allowed to talk nonsense for ages, it makes sense because obviously we're coming from the era of the BC days where you could say whatever you wanted online and get away with it for the most part. And there's been a lot of pressure for a long time for censorship in it. So all of these social media platforms have had pressure on their backs for a minute to deal with these people. The thing is, they don't want to deal with that people because it's extra headwork. Same with like banks who don't want to deal with drug dealers and people and students doing ACs. They don't want to deal with that. Like if they suspect you doing ACs, they just lock your account off. They don't want to even go through the hoops and the hurdles.
Yeah, but you say that, but it doesn't take someone long to lock off someone on Twitter, man.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying
is
is there's been a progression in it. There's been a slow progression.
Not really, because listen, Louis, obviously, you're saying that there's been a progression, but Katie Hopkins has been about for years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Talking that shit.
Basically,
Man like Wiley got locked off in like a day.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like the thing I think people are kind of missing is because Katie Hopkins and them man were free riding in it. Them man were enjoying the good days, and people have been on their backs for a while to get them off there.
Yeah.
And the social media platforms, they've been jucking and jiving, dodging, taking responsibility for managing the platforms, because if they start monitoring and managing what Katie and whatever is allowed to say, they have to start doing it for the rest of us, and that turns into a business cost. So they chose to try and pull the free speech card, or the we're just a platform, we're not a publisher type of thing. They do all those bars in it to avoid doing.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why Wiley got pitched so quick. And they.
So what I'm saying is the timeline is Katie Hopkins and them, man, they were able to say all the rabid stuff. Like she was saying, like, I don't want to feed other people's kids. She's literally saying all the scarf people need to go back, or all the tablecloth, all them bars about Muslims there. Those were the things that were like pushing the situation to the edge, I want to say. So the thing is, once Katie Hopkins got
but the thing is though, she said she's been saying this stuff for years,
yeah. And
so
what I'm saying is,
why he came out with one little comment?
Yeah,
it's not even like he just got taken off Twitter. He got taken off every social media platform,
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying with the whole cancel culture thing. It's been developing. Like they've been, people have been getting cancelled for a while, right? But it's obviously it's been different from back then till now. Like back then, getting cancelled was you get laughed at for a day. It was literally donkey of the day, like Charlemagne. That was it. That was like getting cancelled for the day. But now it's obviously become a thing where now they go and look for your job. They look for sponsors. They start messaging your sponsors. Like there's been a slow development to build the machine up to where it is now. This cancel machine in it. So where the social media platforms come in is now they got pushed to the point where once they removed Alex Jones, it was basically free for all. Anyone could get it after that. So the Katie Hopkins and the vocal people, it was for them, it's like everyone was on a ticking time bomb. Like it was only a matter of time because the precedent's been set, right? So it's just a case of when their day in court comes, they're getting got. And obviously, I think Katie got eventually. But obviously, the whole thing looks bad because it took so long for her to get got. But now it's become a thing now where it's optimized now. Like when it's your time to get got now, it's swift. Like everything's getting got. Like
I don't know,
the
man.
Karen woman. Do you remember the Karen woman, the one who was calling the police on the black guy for because
Yeah.
he asked her to? She lost her job within the same week.
Yeah, that's what she gets though, isn't it? Because she
Yeah,
knows
so-
she knows the consequences of doing
Yeah.
what she was
So
doing.
so I'm not gonna say she deserves it or not, but
She does, man. She does. For the record, she does. Anyone who's
Yeah.
listening, she definitely deserves
like she this is what I was saying about even with the George Chauvin thing. Like police officers were getting away with killing people for a long time. Like I want to say 20 years ago, a police officer could shoot someone, and if a video came out with like blurry footage, you'll have some rabid white people in the comments saying, "Oh, he should have listened to the police officer." And obviously, there's still that now, but the police officer's rope to play the silly games is much shorter now than before. Does that kind of make sense?
It does, but that still doesn't explain what was happening because there's people still on these social media platforms who still spew hatred and whatnot. Do you know a guy called
Yeah.
Keemstar?
Yeah, him as well. So like, what I'm saying is the rope everyone's had to play with.
It's short.
It's
You're saying it's
shortening.
shorter, but this
Yeah,
guy has had a career
Yeah,
for
I
years.
know him well.
and years.
He's literally been stirring the pot for years. Like he's like 40 years old. He's got nothing better to do. He just baits online for content. And
Yeah,
if there's
exactly.
no content,
He's a piece of
if
shit.
there's no content, he'll make something happen by saying something rabid.
Yeah, exactly. He'll make you literally make up lies for content. So this guy is like a piece of work. Yeah. Do you know he's accused people of being child molesters and whatnot?
Yeah.
Without no proof, and then people have been getting
everything.
all kinds
I
of
think
fuckeries. He says racist shit, all kinds of fuckeries. This guy still has a platform to speak. What Chris is saying, what I'm saying as well, is that why he said one thing. Now, no one agrees with what he said. He shouldn't have generalized people like that in the first place. But he said one thing, and in the same few hours, man gets locked off everything. Anytime, he posts on a different social media platform, they lock it off. Man tried to
Bro,
post on YouTube, it's locked off. Man's talking about
got
his
his
TikTok
TikTok got deleted within like an hour or two, bro. That was the
TikTok.
quickest thing I've
I
done.
know, I was following Wiley for a minute. The TikTok was up for a while, but when they, it was like they targeted him in it. Like as soon as they saw him pop up anywhere, they were onto him because he went from Twitter to YouTube. YouTube, he uploaded like 6 videos. He didn't even say anything rabid on YouTube. So that's what scared me. That's
Listen,
when I was like,
man
okay.
was just like, please, I want to make a documentary, please, and I want to go to Palestine.
Yeah,
and,
like he was
and they lock him off.
he was being very subversive on YouTube, but the thing what got me was it was like this is what I was saying about the George Chauvin thing as well. Remember when I kept saying like there needs to be blood is going to be spilt to feed the crowd. That's what is the same like narrative that's running through where the crowd want blood now. They need to be fed. Like they're not happy with a little cancel now. Like you need to be completely and utterly cancelled now. Whereas before, like when I was saying like the racist guy on the train getting beaten up, obviously people are happy to see it. But before there was kind of like an idea of like, let's say from the outside's perspective of, oh my god, don't get into a silly fight, guys. Just ignore him type of thing. Now it's kind of like just deck him and teach him a lesson.
It's always been the case,
It's
except for
always
the
been like
except for
like from the outside, like let's say the third party's watching. Like obviously they got no dog in the fight. Obviously they love to see a pitching, but they don't want to see you actually get like brutally killed out of the blue for saying something stupid. They like a little slap or whatever would have been okay, but like to get like to get stomped out and your head jumped on type of thing, they weren't really for that in the past, I want to say. But now it's like lynchings. Like people want to see the lynching now, and I think that's what's been flying through as a narrative now, where the Katie Hopkins and whatever, like people have wanted to see them get got for a while, and they've been like stirring the pot for a long time, to the point where now people don't give a fuck. Like they're like, I don't care what stupid shit you said. If you said it, I need you gone. So basically, they've burnt all the electricity meter, and there's none left for everyone else for the little dumb shit they're doing.
I don't think all cultures, in terms of cancellation are the same. Like,
Exactly.
I don't think black people stick to their guns when it comes to cancellations, boy.
No,
like,
black people were accepting.
they just fully locked him off, boy, with the swiftness.
Yeah.
You know?
Like look how long it took us to lock off R. Kelly. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And then even when people started applying the pressure, people were crying like, "Oh,
bruv,
oh man, you need to cancel some white
R.
people
Kelly getting
first."
cancelled was like the llamas on the side on the rocky roads of a cliff. Like he was falling down slowly, but they weren't trying to let him go like that. Even Chris
Trying
Brown,
to save him. Trying
bro,
to save
Chris
him.
Brown, people were banging his tune the same day he whooped Rihanna. People were playing Chris Brown's music. Like
No,
black
no,
people, we don't do cancellation well. We're
We
very
don't do
accepting people.
well. We don't still.
We don't like we're very accepting. Like that's like our bonus factor. That's why
That's a weak
like
point.
exactly that's what makes everyone like love us because they can take advantage of us because we're so
Yeah. Every race can actually take advantage of us. It's sad.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
fair.
the white guy in the group can call you a nigger, man, and then you just take it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
banter.
Yeah, some people would be like, "Oh man, he was only joking."
like you'll have the white guy at the party with a plate of jollof who's just passing through, and he'll get shown love. Like
Yeah, I don't
Just-
rate.
just off the strength of being of black people just being good people in it. Whereas you won't see like a random
look
white,
at that-
you won't see a random
look at
black
that,
guy at a Jewish bar
Look
mitzvah.
at that
You
guy,
know?
yeah, that who was rapping in Yoruba. Just because he's
Yeah.
rapping in Yoruba, girls are soaking themselves up, man. I was like, this is
Oh
washed.
no. Oh no.
Yeah, and then his tweets came out. You see,
Yeah.
like even that, like people, like for a guy like that, I don't think he should be cancelled, really and truly. Like,
Why not? See, you're being sympathetic here. This is the
yeah,
problem.
because like us black people, we are sympathetic in general. We are like that's the thing. Our thing is like we've got heart and we're welcoming and we're very forgiving too. Like you can have beef with your boy, but somewhere down the line you can work it out. Whereas like some white people, they don't have to bury a hatchet, you know. Like once your enemies for life. It's like Uncle Scar type of thing.
This is the thing. This is where I think cancel culture is washed up. To be honest, I will never take part in it because I don't think people are serious.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion, though, isn't it?
Oh, you like what's a good example? Remember Gucci, the
What did
blackface.
he?
I think they were like Gucci supports blackface, blah blah blah. Gucci
But-
never rated black people, and people were like, you
can
know
say
what?
the same. You can say the same about Drake, though.
What happened with Drake?
No, he's
You
talking
know-
about Gucci. He's talking about Gucci the brand, though. Gucci the
Oh,
brand.
the brand. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, the brand. Remember the brand where everyone was like, black people, let's come together and cancel Gucci once and for all. And niggas
Yeah,
were
but
like,
look
nah,
at
nigga, I'm wearing Gucci. Nigga.
Floyd Mayweather came out and said, "I'm not canceling, bro," and everyone followed him.
Needs
Bro.
some trinkets. And trinkets are needs the clout.
You need to crowd, mate.
He needs it.
He must have
Cancel
got a
Gucci.
with that as well because he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing that."
Are you mad? No,
This is
no
the problem.
cancellation.
We
of
get
Gucci.
taken for some jokers, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Getting made examples of like Wiley. Do you think here that Wiley being black has anything to do with the swiftness of the cancellation?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yes, it does, but I think it's more of a factor. So like you know, we need to look at it like stats in it because we're in the world of identity politics in it. So depending on what stats you got and you know whether traits you pick. So if you're like black heterosexual, you're proper low in the totem pole. I think you're higher, maybe not now, but you're higher than like a black woman, but you're not higher than a transsexual, animal identifying,
Person, being.
being a ethnic minority who's transsexual, you get more bonus points basically in the clout game, if that makes sense. So basically, you know, like in the office, you know, I think that's why I first saw the dynamic. Like the gay guy in the office gets way more leeway than the straight guy in the office to do fuckeries.
Because homophobia over racism.
Not
Homophobia.
even homophobic, but yeah, like the gay guy has more power to move the masses compared to the heterosexual guy.
Yeah, it's because
Right.
homophobia is treated.
Yeah,
Some-
like
some
so
places
if
less.
if
Wait,
you end up in a dispute,
do you think Which one do you think get pitched quicker? The person being racist to a black person, or the person being
Homophobe, innit? The
yeah,
homophobe will get pitched
that's
quicker.
what
So
that just shows how bad stuff.
yeah,
Well, how
yeah.
can I?
So the homophobe will get pitched. So the person being a homophobe will get pitched quicker because on the hierarchy, being gay is higher than being black. I would
Yeah,
say.
I was gonna say that. I was trying to
Yeah.
put into words. Yeah,
So it'll go like transsexual, homosexual, women, then men. So men at the bottom. So if you're like, so this is where like all the school shooters fit in, where it's like white guy, you get no bonus stats. Like you got white privilege. Basically, that's the only bonus that you get. And if you can't make it work, you're just parched.
So time to
Like
time to pick up the Glocks and go ham, man.
exactly. So they go shoot up the school, and they usually cite like they're not happy with the way the system is because they can feel like being a white male used to be like maximum. That used to get you maximum points, but now the meta's changed, isn't it?
It's more like
Being
it's more like class now, though, isn't it? If you're poor and
exactly.
white, you might as well be black, really. If you're
Yeah,
poor
yeah,
and
yeah,
white,
yeah. That's the same thing. That's basically being Irish.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. If you're Irish, you might as well be
and
black.
that's how you know as well. Like the way Irish people used to get hated on. Like it's not about literally being black. It's just this is the group and this is your ranking and it's low. I would say.
Like in pubs and that, they used to have the signs like something like "No
no,
blacks, dogs are Irish" or
no,
something like that.
no dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, when I see here, like, I didn't realize the order was because blacks are at the bottom, dogs are just above us, and then the Irish are just above the dogs. So they don't want. Yeah, so that's like the reverse trophy stand, boy.
The reverse podium.
yeah. It's actually the
Literally
reverse podium, innit?
come like Mario Kart.
So if
Sweet peaks, right?
I don't know, but I don't think we've even come that long of a way, you know. To be honest, when you think about it,
No, we haven't.
You can't really have come a long way though, because at the end of the day, if generations like say 4 generations ago, people were still teaching their children how to hate other people based on the color of their skin, and so obviously, even though it's not as much now, people must still be getting taught that still sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though it's not in the
yeah, yeah.
same volumes,
Like,
that sort of stuff is still getting taught to younger generations. So
I think a good example where like the because they call it identity politics, right? Because it's basically it's like a race to the bottom where who you are rather than what you're saying decides if you win or not. Like if I identify as an animal or a furry and I'm transsexual, my opinion is worth more than yours, basically. So in a way, we do play into that as a general population because like it would be like a white person trying to speak on black struggles. You'd be like, oh, you're not black, so you can't speak on it. If that makes sense. But
yeah,
that's basically identity politics because you're saying because of your white skin, you're unable to have a perspective,
yeah,
and so you start silencing people's ability to speak based on
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you
exactly.
could do though. That's the worst thing you could do, man.
exactly. So basically, the whole tech is depending on what stats you have, you can shut down someone talking to you completely. I can literally say you're sexist, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, and that because you get assigned those values, you're not allowed to speak anymore, basically. So I can win the argument without having to argue with you just by calling you names, basically. That's what the whole game is, basically. So whilst obviously people are fighting for the rights of gay people and whatnot, it's also being subverted in the identity politics game where um, it's being used against people to silence them. So that's why you see a lot of pushback, like when people are like fighting for LGBT or trying to fly the rainbow. It's kind of like Black Lives Matter. You know, when they keep saying Black Lives Matter, the organization isn't the same as Black Lives Mattering in actuality.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. It's like that type of thing going on. So it's like, yeah, people get mad salty once it starts getting played like that. So what was the example I wanted to use? I wanted to use Asian people. So like Asian people have harder grade requirements to pass in school. Like if you're Asian trying to get into uni in USA, you've got a hard road because you get no what's the word? I I keep thinking of the word discrepancy. I guess we'll begin with T. What's a good word to think? You don't get any leeway if you're an Asian trying to apply for uni, because Asians demographically are the most successful when it comes to going to uni. So if me as a black person applied for the same university as an Asian person, I could probably have like 70% as good grades as him, but I have more chance of getting into the school than he does. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, because the bar for Asians is higher because the competition between Asians is so elite, because obviously Asians do well, or they come from backgrounds where they're able to be more successful. So it becomes like expected, because you're Asian, you have to now perform literally perfect, or you lose your chance, basically.
That's another kind of generalization, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's literally what's happening. That's what I'm saying about the generalizations being the thing that fucks everything, isn't it? So if you're a Chinese Asian, if you don't have like A stars, basically, you're finished, basically. Whereas if you're a black guy from the hood on poverty and you do half decently, I guess it's affirmative action, isn't it? You get an easier way up, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like, if you're an Asian guy, you'd rather be black when it comes to applying to uni, and if you're in another situation, you'd rather be an Asian guy when you're dealing with the police. So it becomes like the stats you carry around with you, or whatever you identify as, becomes like a little pocketbook of what it lets you be able to do.
It's like perks.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like perks, isn't it?
Exactly. Whereas what Martin Luther King and that were fighting for was to be judged on the content of your character. So
Yeah,
the whole thing,
at the end, the color of your skin shouldn't matter, though, innit? It should be the content of your character.
Exactly. But that's down the drain now. So this is where Wiley's thing comes in. Like, everyone's known Wiley for a long time. He's done rabbit stuff. He's gone on radio on Christmas Day and talked about getting chased by foxes. He's done rabbit stuff, but he's never shown himself as racist or hating, or the type to hate people, if that makes sense. So that's what I was using as my understanding of, there's no way he's actually hating Jews. He's just mad at his manager. And I want to know, why is he mad at his manager? And of course, when it finally came out, his manager robbed him for 5 mil. I was like, of course he was being reckless with his lyrics. Like, 5 mil is a lot of money in the music business to get robbed of and not know about it until like years after. I'm guessing it was from Wearing My Rolex.
No, the Rolex.
Yeah.
Rolex.
Or Bosey. Probably one of them.
Wearing My Rolex was a hit, innit?
Yeah, that or Bosey. I'm guessing he lost 5 mil on, or probably altogether from the totality of the deal. And he was parched and started, lashing out.
Which anyone, you can't blame them for doing if they've been finessed to £5 million,
Exactly.
But it's just that he slipped up with the vocab. The vocab was not on point.
Is this a moment of madness?
So he was detailing his experiences of being in the music business and dealing with Jewish people in the music business, but the way he got shut down because obviously of the random stuff he was saying is what makes it rabid, because it's like you're not allowed to. Is that the politics of it makes it like you're not allowed to speak regardless if you don't fit a certain criteria. So if Wiley was a Jew, he'd be able to say a lot more, but he's not, basically. So he has to say a lot less. And when they started throwing up the Holocaust denier, so once you get labeled Holocaust denier, anything you say is pure nonsense. You're a scumbag. Once you get labeled a homophobe, obviously it means you hate all gay people. Do
you know what? Another thing that goes against Wiley, people think he's crazy, innit?
Yeah,
but,
that too.
But you know,
as well. The other thing that started coming up was
he says controversial stuff, yeah. But if you actually listen to what he's actually saying, he's actually sometimes making a lot of sense.
Exactly.
But people just don't want to hear it because they think, why is this old man talking for?
No, they don't want to hear it because he doesn't fit the criteria
Doesn't
for
fit,
someone
yeah.
they want to
It
listen
doesn't
to.
fit the criteria.
So like the other thing I saw that was going on, which made me really open my eyes, was when they were shutting him down, they have to paint you in a certain way when they're shutting you down. So they were like, yeah, he's a nonce. Because
What?
remember Lady
When they
Nye.
say he's a nonce.
Because remember Lady Nye. Remember Devlin when he was wearing Devlin. He was
Yeah, I
like,
know that. Yeah.
they're like, he basically he I think he was around the chick when she was like 15 or 16, and I think he wifed her when she was 18. But because he's been
Yeah, I
around
think
her
I
for
heard
so
about
long,
this, you know. I
yeah,
think I
because
heard.
he's been around her for so long, and obviously when you're warring and whatnot and grime, sometimes they make a bit of some cheeky lines like the Carlos thing, getting banged in the shower. The Wiley being a nonce bars were flowing. So anytime they wanted to discredit him during this whole Jewish thing, the first thing they were going for is he's a nonce anyway. Why is anyone listening to what he has to say? So when I started seeing all of that stuff, especially knowing that he's actually not a nonce, I think the chick even came out and admitted, no, I wasn't a young thing when the whole thing happened. I was like, oh, rah, that's how they're going. Like, first they'll call you a nonce, a Holocaust denier, all these things. Like, once you get all those labels attached to your name, it doesn't matter what you say. It's like having
People just want to paint a picture of you.
yeah, it's like the sex
They don't
offenders
like
list,
you.
but for social media. Like, if you're a nonce, if you're a scammer, if you're a cheater, all of these things, like you're basically cancelled online. And
But that's the popularity as well. It's like when you was talking about Gucci, and I thought you was actually talking about the rapper Gucci,
oh,
and
okay.
obviously Drake I was talking about,
Mm.
and he done blackface. Like, why is he still about it? If you really believe that he shouldn't have done that, why is he still about it? It's his
Oh
popularity.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like basically the whole thing is pick and choose when someone gets
Pick and
attacked.
choose.
The whole
Yeah,
thing is pick and
exactly.
choose.
So that's the whole
I
thing.
yeah, and the thing is, like, if people don't know the background of that whole identity politics and why it works that way, they'll never understand why it's pick and choose. They just feel like there's something wrong with the system. So that's why it becomes a whole thing of virtue signaling. Remember when the Black Lives Matter thing was coming up, and I was seeing bare white people who never really give a fuck about black people putting up the black photo, and I was kind of like, I'm not happy with this. Kinda, I don't believe in it because they're doing like the least amount of work possible to look like they care, but they don't actually care.
Yeah.
And
So it's just because if you look now, I saw a graph the other day about the amount of people that still support that thing, and looks like it's gone down dramatically. Bro.
exactly. Like it's armchair politics.
What are you talking
Uh,
about? Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Blackout Tuesday, all of
Let's
that.
boy, I don't want to sound like the bad guy here, but let's be honest. People were in lockdown. They had nothing
But
to do. They just wanted to come out their house. That was a
what
good.
was the other thing? What's the other thing? The cut for NHS. All of it's all the
That's
same
that's a
nonsense.
killer.
It's all.
That's a
Remember,
killer.
I was crying about the
I don't
NHS.
know,
I
man.
was
Why
like,
did
it's
it feel
just
that? Do you know what? Do you know what is with people nowadays? Yeah, they don't want to hear the truth.
no,
I
they
don't
don't.
want to hear. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear the truth.
It's the Matrix. It's the Matrix all over again.
People were bored. They came out their
Yeah,
house
Jack
because
me
of
in,
the
baby.
opportunity to come out their house. That was it, man. No
Jack,
one was really on it.
Jack me back into the Matrix, baby. I want to go back in.
It's actually people. The thing with people, they don't like hearing stuff about themselves, or they don't like hearing things that they should hear. Just because, you're hurting my feelings, or
Yeah, exactly.
no,
Yeah,
man,
it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Exactly.
it don't fit their agenda, man.
It's true. People don't want to hear what they don't want to. People don't like to hear what sometimes what they need to hear, even if it's bad.
Exactly.
Basically,
So what the way they make sure they don't hear what you have to say is if they don't like what you're saying, I just need to say Aaron's a nonce and your
Yeah,
name
that's
is
it. That's it.
or I
I'll
call
have
you a
some.
rapist.
I'll have some. I'll have some precious.
That was the other scandal as well, the fake rape accusation. That was it. Like you
That
get
was
hit
big
with a
time.
fake rape
That's
accusation.
it. That's
You
it.
can't,
So,
you're not
so
even allowed to defend
even
yourself.
in my head now, even in my head, that list, yeah, all those people, even if they've proven themselves to be innocent, in the back of your mind, you're still like, oh boy, but you're still put on the list though. So
Exactly.
you know what?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think that list, yeah, with the rape allegations, I
But
think
they put cheaters on the rape list. Bro.
the person withdrew most of the people from the list. I think someone tried to put like a stupid joke, bro. That's the problem.
That's not a joke.
Like that's
Because
what
now,
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with the whole rope thing when it comes to Katie Hopkins and them, man. the rope was getting burned slowly. The candle was hitting the base, like.
Nah, but she's not even fully cancelled. She's cancelled off Twitter. She can still
Yeah,
post on other things though. Man like
yeah,
Wiley, Wiley said
that's
one
what I was
thing,
saying.
but cancelled
Like
off everything.
they're working their way around. They're
Nah, I don't
just
know.
taking out the easy target. Obviously, a black guy speaking his mind. That's a free for her.
What do you mean? But what does Katie Hopkins do that she's so required?
She's a white woman, so she's higher up on the totem pole.
There's loads of white women though. They could cancel
Yeah.
her, and no one will miss her. No one will
No,
miss her.
no one will miss
She's
Katie,
fake
but
white woman.
she gets leeway. She gets leeway because she's a woman.
No one would miss her, man. No one would miss her if they cancelled her.
No
Doesn't
one
matter.
would actually miss her. But being a woman is the second. Being a feminist as well, obviously, which I'm sure she claims she is at some point. You know, like that gives you max stats. Like you're definitely A tier.
Do you know what?
High IVs.
You know-
IVs.
Do you know what? You just said something about no one would miss her. That's our community, which ain't a big percentage of the UK, but the white people
No.
will miss her, and that is a higher percentage.
Would they though?
Yeah.
No one even checks for her though.
I think they do. I think
But
she's
it's the same thing with clout. She's farming clout. Like she probably has black friends somewhere in her life.
Nah, I doubt it.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. So all the racists, they have black friends, and they just like, oh, you're all right.
If she has black friends, then black people are. It's just exactly like her.
Sunken place.
Yeah, exactly.
In the
Exactly.
sunken place.
But in that way, they might be black in skin only, but I guess they still count, right? Because we're so accepted. Like-
The most undercover one is David Vancy, though. He takes the piss.
Yeah, like a good example was, remember Joe Biden when he told Charlemagne, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't
Like
black.
it's the same thing. Like it's all an identity now. Like you just load up your bag. You know, put some black in there, put some activist in there, put some environmentalist in there, put socialist in there, put what else can you put in there? Just all the shit that makes you sound like you're a good person, that you just farm those up online and you get the clout.
Just put that in your Twitter bio, man. I'm an activist. I'm a feminist.
Exactly. Esports, all of that, bro. Fuck esports. You know, we need to do an esports podcast one time as well. We need to talk about how esports has subverted GGs. Esports has ruined the gaming industry. Like, we have to go into Parsec to get GGs. Like, what the fuck?
You know what? As well, regarding things like social media and stuff here, I think there needs to be some sort of verification done properly. To be honest, did you not see? This is off topic. Did you not see like when the footballers were getting abused online?
For what?
Oh, yeah.
What are they gonna be
Like-
for?
People would be
Why-
going into
why-
their
why-
DMs, and just being racist. But obviously, because it's like a picture, it's not a picture of the actual person, and they put fake details. Like, how do you track these people?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but they've.
I don't think you can really stop that though.
They've got these systems in place. So you know what the police have, right? If there's a tweet, that gets flagged up, like let's say if you say something anti-Semitic, or bro, I saw someone wrote like Sky TV is shit, and his tweet got flagged for review from the police, I believe.
Yeah.
So obviously that's how you know there's a bit of protectionism going on to protect like certain brands' names and whatnot. That's what people claim when they say the powers that be are working their puppet hands in the background. But long story short, the police can link tweets to the phone from Twitter, because Twitter keeps like a little identification for each device that accesses an account. So from there, the police can compare the device when they confiscate it from you and see if you're the person who sent the tweet, basically, by doing process of elimination. Because if the IDs match and it's in your possession, they can say, therefore, it's likely at this time of the day when they probably asked you, were you at home at this time, blah, blah, blah. And they'll use location to hot you up. And they'll be like, that's how bear man get bagged on rideouts when they take their phones with them, for example.
That's different from internet trolling though, and there's ways on the internet where you can just like, I don't know, hide your IP address and all that stuff. So people won't even know. Yeah, exactly. So people won't even know where the trolling's coming from. It'll just be some trolling from the shadows.
The problem is you can't censor the internet. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
like the thing is, well, you can't trust the government to do a good job of it. Like the government is shit at everything they do, and you can't trust the companies to do it as well, because the drama is actually what riles up a lot of the activity on the websites. Like when everyone's sending tweets and writing on the status, it's a sunny day, having a great time with my friends. That doesn't get Facebook like riled up. It's when like the Trump elections and whatnot, people going into the 50 comment debates about atheism and whatnot, and the flat earthers. Like that's what keeps the eyes on social media, really and truly.
I can agree with that, to be honest. You don't like, you can't tell me something memorable that's been positive coming from social media.
Exactly. The whole thing is literally hate farming.
Everything people remembers
right.
is from something peak.
Yeah.
Some kind of BG. So I can agree with that, bro.
Yeah. Everything's just getting farmed. So basically, we've reached the point as well where like the system in the background has been working out how to cancel people properly. Now they've got it where they know how to get your job gone very optimally. They know how to get your social medias gone very optimally. So all that was missing basically was the right people to run the template. So on Wiley was like the test subject, and obviously he was kind of baiting to see how far they were willing to go. And this is what I was saying with the George Chauvin thing with George Floyd, was people were like, nah, there's no way. Like a lot of the white people, especially out on Reddit and all of the social media sites, they basically were like, because he was spurging out and going crazy because he was high on meth and he technically had a heart attack, they were like, yeah, the police officer's innocent, free him.
But to be fair, it's someone's like with their knee on your neck for 9 minutes. It's not going to do you any favors.
Exactly. It's not going to do any favors. But basically, they wanted George Floyd flee. Sorry, not George Chauvin free. What made it rabid was in their minds. How do I want to say it? They didn't. They didn't like. You know, like when someone does something super fucked up, like in class, the teacher walks out of class for a minute, and then the kid throws the chair across the room and actually accidentally breaks a window. In your mind, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna think, when the teacher comes back, this guy's pissed. He's at least going to the headmaster's office, and in reality, he kind of deserves it because this time he's gone too far and fucked up. That same logic, I feel kind of is where we're at now with the police. Like the brutality has been going on for so long. It's about time. It's about time the police start getting caught out for the fuckeries. Like they got away for it. They got away with a lot for a while. You know, like when they rough someone up on a stop and search, or like. Do you remember there was that kid in Hackney? I think he had something in his mouth, and the officer choked him out and killed him.
I never heard about that one.
Bruv, there was a little video in the shop where basically the officer was on top of him, claimed he was selling drugs. The kid ran into a shop. The officers followed him into a shop. He's obviously swallowed the work in the shop. And the officer, you're not allowed to actually open someone's mouth and try to retrieve drugs.
Oh wait, I think I remember that now.
Yeah. It was a big deal. And basically, the guy was choking him out, trying to get him to get the food out of his mouth, and he just basically snapped the guy's neck from the pressure he was applying.
Did that officer get sacked or anything?
They tried to investigate it, but the officer, obviously I think it's called the IOP, I think they're called investigators of police. I forgot the name, but it's definitely IOP or ICP or something like that. They're like the body that governs the police. Obviously, they took the police officer's side, even though he basically did an illegal procedure, which you're meant to have two people present, one person to, because you know police always need a witness for everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they win the witness statements is because they're seen as a person of value in the community because he's a police officer, he's serving the community. Yeah, so exactly. A police officer's word always takes precedence over a witness's or a bystander's word. So you always need two police officers to get away with fuckeries, basically. Obviously, this guy's done the fuckeries by himself, killed the kid, and basically the IOP has hand waved it away and basically they got away with it. They basically said we found no wrongdoing with the conduct of this police officer, therefore we will not be following up with this investigation, basically, and call it at that. Yeah.
The
So
justice system is the biggest
Exactly.
gang, man.
exactly, the whole justice system is upside down, and we're now reaching a boiling point now where the justice system is now the cancellation system. That's where the people really take out their justice. Like, if I want to see you dealt with, I'll take it to social media. I'm not taking it to the police. Same way with when the guy got shot, he takes it to social media to let people know he got shot rather than going to the hospital.
No, that's for clout though. That's a different thing. You
That's
don't-
clout.
But
What's it?
I'm saying it's all peas of the same pod.
Mm, saying you got shot and then posting it on social media before you've been looked at.
Right,
medically.
but at the same time, instead of going to the the analogy would be, instead of him going to the hospital, he went to social media, and here
Yeah.
would be, instead of going to the police, I'm writing a 5-page fucking documentary on Twitter about how some guy raped me.
Yeah, I hear what
Rather
you're
than
saying.
taking
Instead
it
of
to
going to the police, yep.
Exactly. So now the people are now exacting their own version of justice now, and they're using the cancel culture to do it.
That makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but
So now it's basically it's built up to the point now where the goodwill of the people is low. So George Chauvin, in an ideal world, should have completely got away with this murder. In reality, like, if this happened 10 years ago, he would have got away with it 100%.
and it was 10 years ago in ideal world. For you.
No. Like, let's say, like, do you remember there was that video where the police officer just blasted the guy in front of his kids in the front seat?
Yeah.
Like, I felt that was worse.
Yeah.
But that was even longer ago. I'm guessing that was 2014. I forgot when it was. It wasn't long ago. But that didn't stir the people to riot like this.
I think it's all of them together.
Yeah, all
Too
of
much
them
injustice.
combined. But
There's that lady who got shot in her bed while she was asleep. No
yeah,
justice for her, boy.
that too. But
Fuck
like
these
all of
guys.
those didn't spark the crowd like this one.
I don't think it was George Floyd's one in particular. It was all of them.
Yeah, all of them combined.
His one was the last straw, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was, if George Floyd's one came at the earlier stages, that shit would have gone through smoothly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I genuinely believe that. I feel like nothing would have happened. The police officers would have got off, and we'd just be salty saying, "I can't believe they got away with it again."
Yeah, but if it happened in a different order, I still think people would have still ended up doing what they did.
like the order does matter for sure. But
No, the order doesn't matter. If George Floyd got killed first, and then the guy who got shot in his whip in front of his child died last.
I think it would have been worse. I think it would have been worse. Like,
Mm.
like let's say the way tensions are now, but people are still getting blazed. There was that kid who got blazed for sleeping in his car in a Wendy's car parking lot, and they called the police on him because he was asleep in his car, and he didn't have his license. So they tried to arrest him. I'm guessing he tried to run off with the taser, and bro, they blasted him in his back outside of the Wendy's.
That's a sticky one though, because why would you?
and they burnt down the Wendy's the day after. So
What?
Bro, they burnt down the whole Wendy's, burnt it down. Like that's what I'm saying. People's goodwill is like it's near zero. It seemed like interest rates.
They should have. That's the thing with police though. In over there, they tasered him, but they still feel the need that they had to just kill him or blast him.
It's because he ran away. He took the taser off them and ran away.
And that one, I think they're gonna get away with it because the taser counts as a lethal weapon. So him trying to take the taser off the police officer, and I think he took it off him and tried to use it, counts as assault with a deadly weapon, which is justifiable force.
I thought he tried to run away and they shot him.
Yeah, I think he tried to turn around and use it, and they blasted him.
Really? I have to do some research on that one, but
I forgot what happened, but he definitely tried to use it for sure. I'm pretty sure, and he was running away at whatever point I think he tried to use it initially to make distance, and then he tried to book it and run when it didn't work, and then they shot him in his back. So that the bit where he was running off and the police should have let him go and just probably chased him down in police cars, and they blasted him in his back. That's where they were like, we feel like the police have gone a step too far in doing their job, basically.
That's been going on for years, to be honest.
yeah,
Exactly. So what I'm saying was, I feel like the goodwill's done. Like if I use an analogy with interest rates, you remember there was a time where you could leave your money in your bank account. You could leave £100 in the bank account and come back and have £110 like a year later.
Mm-hmm.
Like those days are gone now. You get like 0.01% now. Like the goodwill or the interest rate equivalent of goodwill is now at all-time lows. People have had enough in general. Obviously all of it combined, but I think individually as well, people have had enough. So like with the guy talking shit on the train, I think if that happened a few years ago, he wouldn't have been getting snuffed.
To be fair, I've seen people getting stuffed for less.
Exactly.
So-
But I think those situations.
Aaron, do you remember that? Aaron, do you remember that video of the woman on the train? She said, "My boyfriend's black."
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Did something happen to her? Did she get pitched?
Yeah, because she was being racist towards the guy on the train.
Oh.
Do you remember the video?
Oh, I think so.
Was it? I saw he like beat her with a newspaper or something like that.
I think he stomped her. I think he stomped her in the head. She got up, he just got up, he just ran with it, but he just stomped her in the head.
Dang, he dangled her. Left her dangled.
Oh, wait, I remember this. I saw it was like on Piccadilly line and he burst her.
Yeah. But the thing is, is that while she was all being racist and that, the people on the train didn't even like
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, people didn't get involved. Wait, was it the little kid? He was like 16.
Yeah, he was I think he was younger.
Yeah. He was like 16. I think either he was playing music out of his phone, and the woman, I think she was Asian or something, and he just bust her up.
She said something like, "Oh, you're smelly African."
Oh.
Yeah. And he started swinging on her while she was like, he just comboed her properly. Oh my lord. Yeah, she got clotted. Oh my lord.
I have to eat this super in the Fire of New York, boy.
I got that Al Capone.
How do you lot feel about such street justice taking place?
Putting hands on a woman is a crazy thing, but
bruv, I think women are free to
that's a sticky one, man.
I'm not with the Joe Budden tech of like never hit a woman. I think we're past the stage of don't hit women. I think people need to stop saying it because women are getting hit every day. I was saying,
I'm like, you trying to be controversial again, boy.
I'm gonna get cancelled in it, but it's true, bro. Women have been getting beat up for a while, especially coronavirus. Oh my lord, women have been getting
my take on it is I wouldn't hit a woman, but if you put hands on me, don't expect me just to stand there and just like.
Bro, the way it is now, a woman can be jumping on your head, and guys are reciting "I don't hit women" whilst their heads are getting jumped on. That's where we're at now. The whole thing.
If someone hits you, no matter who it is, if someone hits you, then they shouldn't expect not to get hit.
Bro, you think a woman could be stepping on my head, bro? You're getting the real leg drop, fam.
Bro, the whole leg drop.
And the thing is, whilst you're midair doing the leg drop, some guys will fly under and jump under her.
That's the thing, That's the thing I don't like. It's the white knights, man. They think like.
Are we gonna get down the white knights right now? Like,
you know what it is, you can't really blame the white knights, but like you could be getting like hit by a woman, but because they only see the woman that you strike them, they think, oh, let me jump in.
Man, this is part of it as well. Like a good example is like the whole Meg Thee Stallion thing and
I was gonna go into
Tory Lanez.
I'm sure we should have done it this episode, but
we might as well because it's all the same thing in reality. Like it's all fuckeries. Who else as well? Did you see the Love and Hip Hop one? Tahiri and Vado.
Yeah. But I don't justify what
Vado was trying to do the Kane original trick slam.
I don't agree with that one.
Is that the one where the woman triggered him and he just
do you know what she did? She threw an apple at him, and I think she tried to throw a drink as well.
Yeah, but that's assault. That's assault in itself, though.
I never saw that bit.
But let's talk about the Meg Thee Stallion one.
Because I think that was the finale, innit? So she was basically talking. I think she said he's the brokest nigga I've ever dealt with.
Oh no.
Is this true? I don't even know the real story.
But she was talking hella smack basically to Tahiri, innit? Because obviously it's the finale and obviously everything comes out in the finale. because usually more times the girl getting played a bit, where the guy's kind of like, oh, I'm all about you, and then somewhere down the line during the season he meets the next thing and he's flirting with the next thing, and they show that, like, basically all the times you're slipping on the show, they put it in the highlight reel, they show it at the end of the season. So you're there sitting next to your girl, and she just her head is boiling.
Them shows are real toxic, bro.
Bruv,
Them shows
what
are
people
good.
love.
They just make black people look like some.
The first few
lads.
seasons of Love and Hip Hop, oh my god, the toxicity, I love it. Like, bruv, it's literally every meetup girls were having for brunch to discuss beef turned into drinks getting thrown and hair and weave getting pulled out. Do you remember when Yandy?
Why do most black TV reality shows have to be like violence or
Ratchet behavior.
That's what people want. The inner ratchetness has been unlocked. Like, this is what the Christians didn't want to see us happen, man. We unleashed the ratchetness, and the girls are on beef more than men.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because look at these days. Women are so free to strike men these days. Like, do you remember how
they're not? I don't know who. Yeah, but that's a whole different culture, though. But over here, thing, and in our, it is similar. It's a similar thing. She should have still got booked for that. But over here, it's like it's not the same. It's not. It's just how you're built. It's just how you're built. Like, if you in your mind have the ideal that you would never hit a woman, no matter how much she's taking the piss, then you're not gonna hit a woman, even if she is dashing apples at you,
know what, though?
and slapping your face and whatnot.
Some men will say that, yeah, but you know when everyone has that boiling point.
Yeah, but everyone's got a boiling point, and that's what I'm saying. Everyone's different as well. So, like, when girls are playing around, like, some girls they're okay with getting a couple hands put on them, like getting choked out or something, and they just go and they do it to a next man who might kill them for that stuff. Like,
yeah, it's true.
And obviously, it's the same thing for, like, the guys who go around touching girls. It's the girls need re-education as well. Like, they need to learn, like, you can't be trying to violate men and get away with it. Like, Megan could have got killed.
What did she do to him?
So basically, Tory Lane was flirting with Kylie Jenner at the party, and she started getting upset.
Is this all speculation though? Because
I think it's pretty much come out. She was flirting with Tory was flirting with Kylie, basically, and obviously I'm pretty sure Kylie likes Tory's music, and obviously Tory's popping, and Megan Thee Stallion was seeing it, and obviously she's fucking Tory, and I'm sure she said something, and I think Tory is the type where he gets the super blackout drunk, where he just fully waved, he doesn't know what he's doing type of thing, and she's basically started cussing man out, just calling him a probably bitch. All of that, them bars there, short dick, all of that, short man, blah blah blah, and man's pulled out the deuce, and he's let it rip.
The akimbo straps.
Akimbo strap, you know.
Man has that's not a good justification, to be honest.
Yeah, even, like that. There's been so many stories. Like, I heard that she was trying to violate him.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Tory's he's bare short, and she's a giant, isn't it, compared to him. Yeah. So obviously, she was like, I can bully my man up. But obviously,
I don't think it was.
She didn't know that actually Tory would actually come for the blaster.
I don't think it was physical beef.
The ebony and ivory. He had the ebony and ivory.
If it was physical beef, she would have seen him bring out the strap, and she wouldn't have been, because from what it sounds like she was walking away, and she got hit by strays, bouncing off the floor.
Yeah. A friend sent me a video. A friend sent me a video of her in their previous relationship. She's been on smoke. So I wouldn't be
exactly.
What do you mean? Violating her partner?
Her previous, still a video with her previous ex.
Do you mean it was like verbal?
No.
Or physical hands.
No. In a video, this my friend sent me. She was in a previous relationship, and I think the guy, he must have cheated or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was leaving, but then she put hands on him. And then he just started boxing her up, way. But I think what happened? The police came.
Yeah.
And she didn't snitch on him, but the fact thing is he snitched on her, way. You got her dirty, boy. And she couldn't believe it.
Right, how's she living by the street code, and then
I
the
don't
man
know.
It is what it is.
she's living by the hood code and getting pitched. She's getting pitched by the hood code.
Yeah. For my taking of her, yeah, I just feel like she's on smoke.
Bruv, you can tell, bruv. We need to stop
You can
lying.
just-
She's been on smoke. Like when I saw the first rap where she was shaking her body, I was like, nah, she's definitely on voltage. Like this girl, she's a problem still. And Tori, I don't know what he was doing, but he was delivering the pipe, and she got jealous, boy. She was not having it. Because I guess they've been seeing each other for a while, innit? So I'm guessing if he's wavy and he's getting a bit too comfy, and he's flexing as well because he's a bit of a party guy. I can see how it ends up with just her just cussing man out, and usually you can let it run, but man like Tori just let off the deuce, man. It was just.
That's both her feet, you know. That's
Did you
madness.
hit both of her feet?
Well,
That's what I heard. I heard she got shot in both of her feet.
I guess the only thing that could make sense is if she got shot sideways. Like, I refuse to believe he shot two equally equidistant bullets through the car door, and it went through the car door into her both
The
her
thing
legs.
is, though, that is a bit baffling is that she hasn't really spoken about it.
You know,
he's
she went on Insta and made like 2 videos afterwards, but she was kind of crying whilst talking.
yeah, but she didn't go into detail.
On what he did, how it started. No,
Yeah.
they haven't.
Like,
but-
he's ghosted. Like, I ain't
So
heard nothing.
I think that's because there's no case going on right now, because Tory got arrested on gun charges, so that means it wasn't for the incident. He just got arrested for actually having guns.
For me, though, like, it doesn't matter how peak it gets or what she did. Clapping a gun at a girl, boy, that is low. That is low, boy. That
It is.
That's rabid
But,
maneuvers.
real rabbit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't know guys' limits. Obviously, he was probably drunk and wasn't thinking, but bruv, some of these girls, it's too much.
Really, man, that's no excuse. You being drunk is no excuse to do a madness like that.
It isn't, but like, it takes 2 to tango, innit? That's the problem.
So,
Well, we won't know the story, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah,
Unless you're in the shootout.
Tahiri throwing apples at man and telling him he's the brokest man she's ever dealt with in her whole life. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Do you know why? Yeah, I don't rate them balls. It's because you're acting like you wasn't broke yourself before.
Yeah. Obviously, the glow-ups come and she's doing all right and she's just cussing. Because I know the TV money's good, but
Yeah,
man,
she's definitely
beef-
getting.
the beef
fair
was not light. The beef was not light at all.
To be honest, I just, you know what it is? I just feel like celebrities are tapped.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't really have a favorite celebrity. I don't follow them. They're just tapped individuals, man.
Yeah, like the whole like older men, like older type of leading the way. We don't have it. Like the way the Jewish people have it in their community, we don't have it. We're the lost nation, boy. Like we're just left behind to fight for the gimlets.
I said fight for the gimlet.
You know, I'm actually talking out my ass, but yeah.
Man, like Louis tired, fam.
So
It's midnight still, but
It's that hour, boy.
yeah, like
No. Yeah, regarding just that whole situation with Meg, I feel like she has to come out and say it so we get a clearer view. Because
she's not trying to snitch. She's not trying to snitch. That's the
She's
problem.
not trying to snitch. Nothing sounds clear to me. Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
it sounds like her family pressured her to snitch, and she did the dry snitching.
Look, man, there's no excuse for shooting a woman in the feet unless you're shooting at you
You know what?
first.
You're right. You know this whole situation, because usually I'd be on Tory's side, but this one was so bizarre and out of nowhere, and it seems like he was completely drunk out of his brain and probably just started shooting.
I wonder, yeah, if he'll be cancelled, boy.
Of course not. Of course, probably. Oh, I don't know. It's different in America. It's different in America, isn't it?
technically
me,
he should
Brown,
be.
Chris Brown should have
but
been cancelled, but he worked.
I think they got too much
No,
money.
R.
in
Kelly
them.
should have been cancelled. You know.
All of these guys should have been cancelled, but they're not, boy. So I don't expect
Yeah.
it.
It's probably different in America. It's probably different in America.
Yeah, they got money invested in them.
Nah,
so.
I think Chris Brown's case, yeah, he could have been bigger than what he is right now, but obviously,
You think so? Because he's still making quote unquote hits.
I said it to my girl as well. Like, I feel like he's still big.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's still big, man.
He's still big.
Even though he put the hurting on Rihanna, boy.
Yeah, he bodied her still. But
Oh,
the
I
thing
never
is,
seen
yeah,
nothing like
it's
it. She
not
was looking like an omelette.
She's looking like a Picasso painting, boy. That's what the fuck.
what's in the omelette place?
Oh, I'm so
I'm
dumb,
not-
bro.
but I did hear though that she did do something to him, but I can't remember.
What was it?
Bruv.
I heard also. I heard that she gave him.
Yeah,
Like,
she gave him
chlamydia or
chlamydia,
something.
and I think she tried to grab his head whilst he was driving and swerved the car, and he started busting her up, boy. You know, he's got a black belt as well. But was giving her the champ cross chop.
Perfectly executed techniques, man.
The 600 chops, boy.
Knife edge chops in the whip. Ric Flair chops.
all these situations are mad. Like, when if there's another one there. You know when Jay-Z was in the lift and he got punched up. What would you have done? What would you have done?
That's a sticky
Bro,
one.
she was trying to put her foot through the front.
She was going to him. You would have had to try to neutralize her, wouldn't it? You would have had to try to stop her.
No, like Jay-Z just touched his face like, wow.
Wow.
You
would have had to try to stop her, to be honest, because she was going buck wild in the lift way. Man was getting rushed down in the lift.
She was trying to stab him with her foot, bro. I couldn't believe it.
Bro, I don't know. For me, this like, as a woman, don't touch me because you already know I'm physically stronger than you.
Yeah, nobody touched me.
Nobody touched me, man.
Nobody touched me.
What a beast.
Because if I backhand you now, what are you gonna say?
But some women don't think like that. Some women think that a man will never hit them, so they can take the piss.
Yeah.
So,
Or they
obviously no one should be getting.
They believe
Obviously,
that
I think no one should be getting hit.
Yeah. Or they believe that a man shouldn't touch them, but really, like.
But yeah, I'm kind of seeing these girls like getting up in a man's face saying, "You're not allowed to touch me," and then the weave gets dragged.
it's a change.
And it's just a world star moment by God.
Argentine backbreakers.
Super backbreaker. The winds are changing, but man like Chris Brown paved the way.
The 720. Bro, like how many times have you seen a dazed black girl on World Star for thinking that she wasn't gonna get hit?
Ain't that like the one with the Sonic coins when man gave her the big clap?
That's they gave her the thunderclap, boy.
That video is a legendary video. That's the prime example of thinking that you can just violate a man, bro.
Yep.
I managed to see that one, bro. The Sonic ring just bounced. You know, after the second bounce, you know that the coins are gone. Oh my god.
Yeah, the shock was so much he just never backed the beef after. Her friends jumped in, boy.
Well, she was probably traumatized, boy. That's a traumatizing slap.
That guy was tall though, and he had the Russian hat, man.
It was a big Brutus.
Oh. I remember it was on the subway. The chick tried getting the guy's face in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the people started making edits, boy, with the Sonic ring.
And the white knight tried to jump in, and he got wall crushed.
I just remember her friends trying to rush him or something.
Bro, it went from SF4 to Tekken so quick when he got crushed against the wall, boy. He got combo.
Horse fed.
Yeah, man, that was
my god.
topic, but like, I feel like women just don't touch us, man. Please, just loud.
Bro,
nobody touched me.
But any girl who feels like they can put their hands on a guy, like I run away from them. Those ones are deadly. They're actually the deadliest.
Boy, I'm glad my missus ain't like that, boy.
But Ghana girls are like that. Ghana girls, they're on beef, you know. I've seen my mum. My mum is on beef. I've seen her swing
How
it,
come man say yeah? He's seen his mum put hands on man. Please.
bruv. Oh, bruv, I
Don't see
remember
it,
my
don't
mum
see
and
it.
dad. They had the proper war beef.
Hey, we're not trying to hear about no domestic violence in your house, please, man, please.
Issues, bro.
We're not
Please.
trying to hear about your family fighting each other in the house. So.
Bruv, you know what? Like, I'm just thinking about coronavirus. Like, I know people are doing like fight night round 5, like at home. Just,
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine doing
bro. Do
COVID.
you remember that video from? Was it? I don't know if it was an influencer or a sports guy. Man was giving a tutorial on how to smack your wife. I couldn't believe it,
What?
bruv. Do you remember that? I think he was a boxer. He was like,
Oh,
when she's talking, wind it up, and then bam.
yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. What's that guy's name again?
That's what.
What's that guy's name again? He's known to be a claff as well, you know. What's his name? Shit, I have to find it. But I know what you're talking about. So there was a video. I don't think it was supposed to be posted. It wasn't meant to be posted. And he's like, if you want to know how to hit your wife, you gotta do this. You gotta wind up your punch, and then you smack them in the chops or something like that. You
But
take it.
he landed the perfect bang.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was either an MMA fighter or
They found the footage and he
or a
had to
boxer. Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, guys.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think he got suspended. I think he had the title or something like that, and it got taken away from him.
Name, bro. Yeah, he did have a title. I'm trying to remember his name. Flip's sake.
Might be able to Google it, but oh my god, that one finished me.
What's his
Like
name?
man wound it up because he was standing next to it for a minute, and he's like bam, and he landed it on knuckles to the chin. He was trying to send his wife to the solar system, boy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, you know what? Domestic violence is a
I
problem.
said, Jay, you tried to send his wife into the solar system to say like it's she fight EX3 supers.
Oh
Dear oh dearie me. That went completely off topic. We're talking about
that was banger, boy.
what was he talking about? It was talking about Wiley getting brutally cancelled, and then all of a sudden it's turning into.
We blended it nicely, so it wasn't all about anti-Semitism, but it was also like relevant topics because in my mind it's all the same thing.
How is domestic violence in your house the same as people getting?
No, I mean with the whole cancel culture, people have had enough. They want to see blood. Like if you goof now, like there's no oh, what about this person? Like you're getting taken off stage immediately into the dump truck like WCW.
Exit stage left.
It's like WCW on the Fridays when you get ran over by the monster truck.
Yeah, it's actually sticky now. It's sticky for any edgy people. Any people that
I swear that used to happen every week on WCW, the monster truck. I remember. I swear Hulk Hogan got ran over like twice in 2 weeks. I couldn't believe it.
Man don't remember none of those times. Man just remembers the BGs. The BGs only.
Oh, good times. But yeah, like now, like yeah. So I was trying to say, I think the goodwill is gone, and obviously, the social media guys have been under pressure for a while on controlling their networks. So I feel like the whole Wiley thing has now come at a time where they needed a scapegoat, and so they and obviously the pressure is coming from the Jewish. There's a Jewish group called the CAA. They're the ones who've been applying pressure to the businesses to get Wiley removed in it. So anytime they see him anywhere, they just send all their lawyers, the full force of the powers.
Oh, that's the boxer now. I know who you're talking about. Billy Joe Sanders.
Yeah.
Go search that, Aaron. You'll find it funny still.
And
Billy Joe Sanders or Joel?
Yeah. No, Billy Joe Sanders.
But yeah, what was I saying even? Yeah, the CAA, I think that's a Jewish group that does like the activist stuff. They're the ones who've been pushing for Wiley to get banned in it. So basically, they've been flexing their power, and yeah, they've been going to work, boy. They got Facebook to take him down pretty quickly. YouTube took a while, but YouTube gets around to it eventually. and then the TikTok one came out of nowhere, basically. So yeah, he's basically nowhere.
Because all the rest banned him as well, innit? So the TikTok people just like, you know what? Because
Yeah,
at the moment he's being branded as a person
yeah,
who hates Jewish people.
he was tweeting through his sister. I think she got reported as well. Like, yeah, they've got him locked down. So basically, we've now reached the stage now where, like, if you want to do a full lockdown and shut someone up completely, you can actually do it now.
Depends, man.
Yeah,
Depends.
as long as you got the right stats. Yeah, like.
Because that hasn't happened to anyone else, just him, to be honest.
Yeah, but yeah, while she's on quarantine at home, um, at Wiley's house, whatever, like, yeah, he can't do anything. Like they've got the checkmate like optimized now. Like now, when it's the next person who's gonna get got, it's gonna happen in record timing. Like Alex Jones took years, Katie Hopkins took a while, and was only on one social media. Now Wiley's been done, like they got the XP, like they're level 6 now, boy. People are gonna get comboed.
People are gonna get ganked in the bush, man.
And
I don't think anyone else is gonna get cancelled that quickly, to be honest.
Oh, I think it's the opposite. I think way more people now. Now you know the process on which to go and apply your power. Other groups of importance can now copy and start.
I think it depends on what you say. What you say, it depends on. If someone says some racist shit about black people, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
If someone says something inflammatory about other people,
Overall, they will be fine. But if the wrong person tries to make black jokes out of the blue,
no,
they'll get cancelled.
Black jokes can run forever, bro, because that's just how the world is, isn't it?
Do you mean like in the office? Like let's say
just wherever.
Like,
say someone did the same thing that Wiley did, but with black people, which happens all the time. Someone says some shit, but the equivalent to like black people.
Yeah.
Like Wiley said something. Someone said something like Wiley said, but it's equivalent to what to black people getting insulted or whatever. They're not gonna get cancelled that quick.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get cancelled if they're just talking about any person of color. They're not gonna get cancelled that quick. They won't even get cancelled that quick if they're talking about, I don't know, just white people in general. It's just a certain group.
How can I put it? Like black Christians.
What do you mean?
Something like that.
Yeah, they're not gonna get cancelled.
If they try to generalize like black Christians or something.
Yeah, they won't get cancelled that quick. No one's gonna get cancelled as quick as Wiley got cancelled.
Yeah, like his one is for setting the precedence. Like
no,
I feel like
no one's gonna get cancelled.
I feel like they saved the big guns, and they waited to get Wiley, because like all the people who were being anti-Semitic before were Labour leaders, and that was more of like a political play where they wanted the leaders to fire anyone who had the whole Palestine ideas and whatnot or whatever. Like, because it seemed to be a big thing in politics, like the Israel thing. So that's like a good way they check. But now they've just got more advanced with this system. They've been expanding. So once it's global and you can't say what people don't like what you say, it's over.
I don't think so, man. I think people will be alright as long as they don't cuss certain people.
Like we'll be alright now, but I think down the line, people are done.
The only way we'll be able to see is if someone says something inflammatory soon, which is usually every week someone's saying some inflammatory business. So let's just wait and see what happens. We'll see if this person gets cancelled. No?
Yeah. But the thing is, it depends who's pushing, because obviously the publishers and the social media websites, they don't want any business in this. Like, there's no money in it for them, and it turns into a bonus cost or capital.
Exactly.
Like,
so it depends who's pushing. So that means only certain people get cancelled. People only get cancelled for saying a certain thing about certain people.
Yeah.
Most people, like, say someone makes a black joke or whatever, some racist jokes about Asian people or something, they're not going to get cancelled. They'll be fine. But if you say your producer, who is Jewish, has stolen 5 million from you, whatever, then it's a wrap. Even though he didn't say that because he generalized, I don't know. It sounds to me like he was saying that Jewish people would just be stealing people's money or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's like another thing. Like, you can't say that type of thing. The whole, if you insinuate Jewish people have too much power, that's anti-Semitic as well.
That's what he said, didn't it? That got him cancelled, didn't it? That's what got him pitched.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't say stuff like that, as long as your hatred isn't directed towards Jewish people, you'll be fine.
Yeah, basically.
So everyone just needs to remember not to say anything about Jewish people.
Basically,
And you can say you can use all the hate you want, but as long as it's not directed towards Jewish people, man, you'll be fine.
in a nutshell, yeah. If you don't want to get cancelled.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know as well. Was it Arsenal fan TV when he said DVD and he got cancelled for that.
Yeah.
That one rattled me a bit. You know, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is
What?
how low we've gone.
What happened then?
I think Son or Harry Kane. Yeah, no, I think
Son is an Asian
Son.
footballer.
It was Son for sure. I think Son fucked up, and
No. So basically, he plays for the. So there's Arsenal fan TV. I don't want to say too much on this, but yeah, they hate Spurs in it, which is Tottenham, which is the rival team in it.
Mhm.
He was coming off, and I think he said something like, "Oh, DVD's coming off," something like that. In them words. And obviously, like, most people try to relate Asian people to DVDs in it. For some reason.
Retarded business. I know what the way is trying to.
You know what I'm trying to say in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Why would you say that's no good? That's no good in the first place.
So rabid. It's the old school racism, boy.
Yeah.
What was the
Like,
other
he
one
was
as
trying
well?
to say that he wasn't trying to be racist.
Then what's he trying? What's he saying?
He
Then?
was trying to say that so basically that team Tottenham have something to do. They released like a DVD or something, and it's like historic to them. And he tried to say it was related to that in it, but that's not my business. I don't really care, to be honest.
Man tried to style it out swiftly,
He
man.
tried to start, and now he's finished, boy, from what I've heard. So
That's what you get, though, man. You just don't say stupid shit, man.
boy,
Especially in this climate. The climate is hot.
yeah,
It's hot.
This climate, you need to like chill, boy. As
It's too hot.
I said before, boy, people don't want to know the truth. The truth hurts.
The truth hurts, man. People need to be jacked in. They need to remain jacked in, man. Jacked into that
I'm have to
bitch.
put this episode The Matrix, boy. But yeah, boy, I think it's been nearly 2 hours. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's been a long one. It's been interesting.
What's the time?
It's like 12:30.
2 hours, mate. Jiffy.
Oh
Yeah.
no! I'm going to
We
get
went
some
from-
gimlets, like gimlets.
We're from man like Wiley, from Beanies getting beaten up.
I'll sleep freestyling, boy.
We almost went into a dark rabbit hole of Louis' abusive household.
Household,
No,
boy. I was
trying to
gonna
hear
talk
that.
about. I was gonna talk about something, but I'll talk about it next time. I was gonna talk about WAP, but forget it.
That's too.
I'm not even trying to talk about that too tough.
The hoeing. I'm gonna get.
Boy, hey, wrapping it up. Tea time. Tea time.
Oh, so
That's
you-
I'm gonna bring my Bible for the next one. We're gonna.
You have to bring the holy scriptures. You have to bring the holy scriptures, man. The holy
The
water.
anointing oil. Not the-
Splash your computer with holy water.
I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Tea time.
Hey, so is the next episode about the WAP?
It might have to be up to what, boy?
The wet ass.
Boy.
Or
I don't
Uh,
know.
I don't think you're even allowed to say the P word on YouTube and that. Like,
We can replace. People know what we're talking about. We can replace that word with something else, man.
but you know what's funny? When I saw Lawrence's reaction, I was laughing. I knew he had enough.
Hey, we're not talking about it. Relax. Look, man. That's it, man. That's episode 8, man.
That's it. It's
been
a wrap.
wrap it up.
It's the next one, man. It's tea time. So that's
GG's. I'm the 3D god. That's it.
That's it, man. It's Aaron. As per the three amigos. The three amigos, man.
Next time we'll be talking about everyone's favorite song at the moment. But for now, see you guys later, man.
Peace.
Peace.